We have our best offer yet on poodlecfb.com right now until the launch of CFB 26. If you use code LAUNCH with a capital L, you will get $50 off the annual plan. And if you're into the monthly plan, if you use code LAUNCH 2025 capital L, you will get $5 off the monthly plan. Guys, these discounts are recurring, so the beauty of this is if you lock yourself in now, you'll have it for the remainder of CFB 25 and CFB 26 and beyond that, so make sure to sign up right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 25 video, and in today's video, I'm just showing you guys methods that will help you win every 5-star in Dynasty mode. Guys, if you don't already know, we are running a special right now. Up until the launch of CFB 26, we will be running a new special over on poodlecfb.com. If you use code LAUNCH, capital L, you will get $50 off the annual plan, which is our best discount to date. And the best part about it is these are recurring discounts. You are grandfathered in for the lifetime of your membership, so lock yourself in now so you're locked in for the rest of 26 and the rest of 25. Because at this point, a year from now is basically the end of CFB 26. So lock yourselves in, and as well, Launch 2025 with the capital L gets you $5 off the monthly plan. Also our best rate yet on the monthly plan. Make sure to lock yourself in, guys. It is the fastest growing CFB community. Our members over there are super educated. Analysis, data, formulas, spreadsheets, everything you need to know to dominate Dynasty mode. And not to mention, when you start off CFB 26 and people are pumping out content and no one knows how the game works yet, that community is going to be talking in real time all day with all of our calculators, formulas, and testing, and you're going to be dominating your hometown family leagues right off the rip. And if you guys know anything about CFB or anything about franchise type modes or Dynasty modes, that first few seasons are so important, especially if you guys play for many months or the whole year, because you're going to get such a head start on everyone. Make sure to lock yourself in, guys. And the first person to DM me on Twitter gets a special rate that's even better than that, and that's the special code per video, so make sure to DM me over on Twitter. Let's get into it. So guys, the first one is going to be chasing elite recruiter coordinators. I've done some thinking about it, even in year-long leagues, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and this is like anything. People always think, I'll just choose my favorite program, or I'll just choose this one looks fun, they have cool jerseys. CFB is a very long game. It's the long game here, but usually when you say that, you think you have time, but actually it's kind of the reverse. So let's say the first 2 seasons of a rebuild, you start or anything, you recruit some guys season 1 and 2. You don't see like your recruits don't come into fruition until like season 5, because you're getting them season 1 and 2. They're not juniors and seniors, so season 5, 6, right, so on and so forth. Plus the red shirts. If you do that, you could be looking at season 7 if it's a season 2 guy with a red shirt. So if you start off as a bad program without elite recruiters or elite anything, you kind of have to wait until season 5 to see your first round of guys come through. And then if you're not set up until then, and then you got to level up your coach, then you can't recruit well. Then you're being out recruited by bigger programs. Their foundation's getting better. There's so many ways to fall behind in this game. The fast way to get a head start and just skyrocket your program is to chase elite recruiter coordinators. Now, obviously, not everyone wants to go Georgia or Bama or Miami or any of those teams, but there are smaller schools. Over on poodlecfb.com, we have a spreadsheet that goes through every single coach in the game and everywhere there's elite recruiters. But otherwise, if you guys just happen to know them or you want to just check it on your own, Syracuse is one that has 2 elite recruiters, and in my dynasty, I chose them, and I'm already in the 3rd season competing for 5 to 10 5-stars per season, and that's as Syracuse. In season 3. In season 2, same thing. Season 1 was the only one that was a bit tougher because I did have to get my coach up a little bit, just generally speaking, and get my program stars up. But elite recruiter coordinators are the glitch, especially when you start off with a custom coach. Chase them. Start off with a custom coach at level 0. As they level up, it seems like the coordinators level up like they move with your coach. It almost seems like, that's my theory. So as you level up your recruiter on your main coach, your secondary coaches, your elite recruiter coaches start to go absolutely crazy on their packages and end up being these crazy elite recruiters. Make sure to chase them, especially when CFP 26 rolls around. When you go into a new dynasty, if you want to start off with small schools with your friends, or you want to start off in these like, cool, let's not pick the big team types. Some people are going motivator direction. Some people are going like tactician, strategist directions with these coordinators. Get a smaller school that happens to have double elite recruiter. I think UTSA has them too. Again, another good small school build. And you'll be able to just come in and by season 2 or 3, be recruiting all the 5-stars while all your friends are getting like 2 and 3 stars and building up slowly. You're going to absolutely just destroy them. They're going to be like, they're going to be embarrassed by how far behind they are in you. So make sure that you chase elite recruiters. That is the easiest way to dominate everyone. And then the bonus to this is, okay, well, yeah, they have motivators, but their motivators are only going to be building up bad players. So it doesn't do anything. You're going to be bringing in elite talents. Then you can start building up your secondary motivator packages and then start building those guys up. Your foundation, again, by year 5 and 6 when they're building up their classes of 3 and 4 stars at best, you're going to be building up classes of 5 stars, and very quickly there's going to be a huge gap between you and them, and that is why you want to be chasing elite recruiters. Next thing when recruiting, something that I always do, and I feel like people don't always talk about it, always check the schedules of your opponents. Why is that? Because it is so important when prioritizing visits. So let me just advance one more week here because you can't see the schedules just yet, but when you're recruiting, understanding the key weeks. So for me in 5 stars, it seems to be always like the week 3 to 5 visits are the most important, with week 3 and 4 typically being my favorite. So let's just say you're looking at a recruit, right? You're looking at a recruit and they're gonna commit by week 4. So that means that week 3 visit's the most important. Let's say it's week 1 and he's not in top 5. Think about this scenario here. By week 4, they're likely gonna commit. Week 1, they're not in top 5. That means they're going to be top 5 in week 2. That means that in week 2, you can't even use a week 2 visit, because once you advance to week 2, you can't schedule a visit for that week. And week 4, they're committing. That means that there's really only one possible week to set a visit. Now, let's say the top 5 comes down to you're Alabama, and your top 5, and the top 5 only has Penn State as the other user in it. So it's Alabama versus Penn State. The other ones are computers. So basically, you're only going against one person that could throw a visit on you. Let's say the only way they're going to beat you is with a visit. So what you do is, obviously you're going to go set a visit, you lock them out. But wait, you don't have to waste 40 points there, because what you could do is, you can go check out, let's say, Big 12, and you go over to Penn State, sorry, Big 10. Was I on Big 10 already? Okay. You go check out Penn State, and you see, okay, wait, they're on a bye week, they can place a visit, you got to lock them out. But in a lot of cases, what I've done is, I'll look and I scout out the visits they could do against me. So before in the past, I would mindlessly have placed that visit on the week 3, being like, okay, lock them out. But then there's another recruit that like, wow, I really needed that one, and now without that one, I'm losing that one. So I'm kind of doing a trade-off. But instead, you check out your schedules and you find out that recruit 1 against Penn State, Penn State's on the road in week 3, playing Bama. So guess what? You don't have to put a visit against them, because you have a lead already, and they're not going to overtake you without a visit. So you can just let that one sit. They don't even have a visit opportunity. But on recruit 2 that you would have lost, it turns out you're going against Georgia, who has a home game that week, and you need to lock them out. So but do this ahead of time. Don't do this the week of, because if you do it the week of, very often people will just beat you to the visits. Weeks in advance, I plan this. I look at my top 5, top 7 guys that I want to keep. Who's going to need a visit? These, I mark them down in a notepad. This guy, Harold, Jarvis, all these guys, right? They need visits for me to win these, or potentially need visits. Then, as we get closer, okay, these are the final 4 that definitely need visits. Then as we get right to where it's time to schedule them, right before then, I check out all these schedules and I say, okay, I'm going against Penn State on this guy. I'm going against Bama, Georgia, and UCLA on that one. Okay, hold up. That one needs a visit, because all the 3 of those guys all have home games that week. And then you plan it out. Now, let's say there's a situation where there's a week 3, week 4, week 5 potential here, and the guy's not recruiting, the guy's not going to finish till week 5. So this is where I start to do the schedule game of, okay, Penn State plays Alabama week 3 and Georgia week 4, and week 5 they play UCLA. They're definitely going to put their visit on week 5. So what you could do is, you could preemptively, if you wanted, to put it on week 5 to take away their easy one and make them do it against the hard team that they're likely going to lose to if you know the users in your league. But always look at schedules early and play the schedule game. The next one, which is really important actually, and I don't think I've mentioned it before, always send your recruiting hours in intervals of 10. Stop sending 5s. And I'll tell you why, when you're gonna short sell a little bit here. This package right here, you gain additional interest for every 10 hours spent. And in our elite coaching build, you're gonna have tier 1. And a lot of your coordinators, if you chase elite recruiter, will get that tier 1. So that means for every 10, you get an additional bonus. So when recruiting, I see people do this all the time. Let's say they go to hard sell. Let's say they have a total. Let's see a guy here who has we all 50 hours here. But let's say you have a guy that can get 70 hours, sorry. And let's say you do a hard sell for 40, and then you do a friends and family for 25. That is 65 of 70. I see a lot of people who say, oh, I'll just do that. The 5's not a big deal. They leave it at 65. Hard sell, friends and family, 65. That leaves 5 on the table, but you have a decent lead, or it's pretty close, but what's 5 points going to do? That 5 points is actually huge, because for every 10 points you spend, you get an additional bonus. So 10, you get a bonus. 20, you get a bonus. 30, 40, 50, 60. When you do 65, technically that last 5 isn't doing much, because your bonus was at 60. Spend that extra 5. Always get to that 0. Get to that 10 interval, because just getting that extra 5, yeah, the 5 might not do much, but you're getting an additional bonus on Elite Recruiter for hitting another interval of 10. So always make sure that you're doing things in intervals of 10s. It's very important, and it gets you more interest. And this is across the board. If you have 80, do 80. Don't do 75. If you have 65, go up to 70. Now, in some cases, you may only get 55. That might be your max. So in that case, maybe you do sit at 50 instead. You don't go up the extra 5 because it won't do much, and your interval bonus was a 10. But just keep that in mind. Always take that extra 5. I see people who do this. I see this a lot. They'll, instead of doing 70 on 5 guys, they'll take 5 off, 5 off, 5 off, 5 off, 5 off, 5 off, and then try to combine that in for a visit. If you have a huge lead, that's fine. But if you're in a closer battle, that extra 5 that you think you're just like trimming off the top and you're going to be fine, you're losing a bigger bonus than you think because you're losing that elite recruiter bonus. So don't do that. Last but not least is the intimidation factor. This one's a little bit more mental, but not just talking about the one I usually talk about. There's a few ways to do this. If you have a Discord chat, or you have a league chat, or a friends chat, family chat, whatever you do for your league, intimidating your opponents is a very big part of recruiting. This goes beyond the video game, guys. I'm like, in my league, the best thing you could do is talk in the chat when you're recruiting and be like, don't waste your points. You know, see that guy Nolan, let's see, like, am I on top for any of these guys? Like, if you're in first place with like a decent lead, or you know that you have 80 points or 80 hours a week, or you've already had some classes, when I go in chat, I'm like, don't waste your points on that guy. You're really gonna put some points in that guy. Save your hours. And now, well, you think that might be funny? You know how many guys I've seen like, oh my god, can you let someone have someone for once? Like, when you have 80 hours and you have double elite recruiter coordinators and you're bringing in 10 to 15 5-stars a year, people get terrified when they see your logo on their player. I've come into the chat, people are like, hey man, do you really need that guy? Come on, you already got a quarterback last year. Then you make a comment like, you're really gonna waste your hours? I have 80 hours in elite recruiter. Good luck wasting your time. I've seen people literally pop off of players like that. And also the intimidation factor of maxing out your hours early and then getting a huge lead and jumping them off. That's a big part of having the double elite recruiter stack and chasing them, because you get that big lead early right off rip and you scare people away. Same thing with the program builder. Intimidation factor, even in real life, scaring your opponent before you get into the game or into the recruiting battle is a large part of the battle. Make sure you're doing your due diligence chat. Send in screenshots, but I got 80 hours. Good luck, guys. Make people scared, because when they say they have 70 and you have 80, they might be scared. Even though they have better elite recruiter packages, they don't know that. They can't check your coaching package out. Always intimidate people. Always intimidate your opponents. Always, always, always make it seem like you're going to win every recruit, because that actually goes a long way in making people think, I'm not even going to bother. Trust me. And when they do that, you can then rug pull, because now you're noticing they're popping off of other players, and now you can just pull your points off and go somewhere else and keep maximizing your classes. But guys, that's about it for the video. Make sure to use code LAUNCH, capital L, for $50 off the annual plan, our best deal to date. And then make sure to use LAUNCH 2025, capital L, to get $5 off monthly, also our best deal to date. And hit me up on Twitter if you want a special rate, one person per video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.